What's up, guys, and welcome back to another Wednesday night Connect Bible study. If you haven't been with us the past 2 weeks, we have been reading from Proverbs. We have been going through chapter by chapter by chapter and seeing what God has for us in these little nuggets of truth and wisdom. So today's topic, oh, by the way, so some of you I've talked to about this. I just wanted to give a good report. I even went there this morning um, to the new house over in Longview area. We will be moving. May 5th is the closing date for selling our home. We got an offer, and for the home we're buying. So we found one we really love and fell in love with in the community over there. I drove around a little bit, and just nice little community, kind of quiet neighborhood. And we fell in love with the house as soon as we walked in. Everything about it, it's just it's a God thing, and God worked it out. And so, let's see, it's the end of this month. Yeah, be about a month, just a few days, and we'll be moving to Longview. So continue to pray that everything goes smoothly. You know, you have a lot of stuff between the time you accept the offer to the time you actually sell and move out. Just pray everything goes smooth, and being in God's perfect will, it always does. So today we're going to be talking about teamwork. Speaking of teamwork, if you're watching, make sure you give a little wave and say hi to everybody else watching with you. Don't forget to share and like the video so that you can, just another easy way for you to spread the word of God easily by one little click. So today in Proverbs chapter 3, we're going to be talking about teamwork. And it's always easier to get things done in teams. For example, you may not realize this, but I'm going to blast some names out there. So Josh and Ashley Dyer, they just became members when we were coming in, I believe. Like, I think our second service there, they were they were getting sworn in. But they have become really close with Pastor Aaron and myself and Sister Michelle, and we've really got to know them very well. And if you don't know, on the Instagram, you can follow the Connect Church in Longview Instagram account. Sister Ashley is doing that. She's doing a phenomenal job. Shout out to being a servant. She's doing great. She is on top of it. Every time I see her, I give her a high five and I tell her how good she's doing because she is killing it. And so Pastor Aaron up in the media booth, and then he's doing youth. Actually, tonight, as you're watching this, they're doing their youth thing and ministering to people, and my wife and their wives, and Pastor Phil and Sister Christine and Pastor Mark and Pastor D, Pastor Jen and Sister Pam. Like, all of us are these teams that make a machine well oiled, and it really makes working in the field enjoyable, and it makes fulfilling the purpose God has for us in this community that much stronger because we have a stronger team. Teamwork is important. Teamwork is a must, and teamwork is kind of the foundation of where God can build up the church. Because if you have a weak team, or if you have weak links, there's places where the devil can get in. So having a strong team, and me being the worship leader, I tell my team all the time how much I appreciate them and love them. They make my job, I said it Sunday, they make my job so easy, and they're always willing to show up, and I never have a problem with somebody being always late. Like, they usually beat us. I know we live an hour away, but I mean, we get 10 minutes early there to church, and they're already there, greeting us at the door. Brother Jeff and all the greeters at the door, these are the complete team, the people that help up in the sound booth, that a church has to have to grow and be strong. Teamwork is a must. It is not an option. And Connect Church in Longview understands this value system. It is so important, and it is so it's such a relief as a pastor in this church that I don't have to beg people to help. They just do. Teamwork is important, because when you get off balance, or there's this side doing more than that, it's easy to tilt over and fall, but everybody is on the same level. We're going towards the same vision, the same goal, the same heartbeat, and it's an amazing thing to be a part of this team at Connect Church. But wisdom does not work alone. So you have when the team is balanced and healthy, there's nothing like it. You may have a superstar. I don't know if you know this. I'm going to blast some more names again. Pastor Aaron Westbrook is a superstar. The man does everything. He doesn't ask for anything, and he does everything. He's there early. He's there when everybody else leaves. Like, he's our superstar, but he cannot do what he does in our church. The youth, the media, the cameras, the live streams, all the stuff that we love and enjoy and a lot of times fall in the groove of taking advantage of. He can't do that by himself. So, by the way, shameless plug, if you want to help in youth, in the media stuff, he needs help. We need workers in the field. But there can be superstars, but even superstars have to have teammates. If you look at the example of Michael Jordan, when I was growing up, man, Michael Jordan, when he was on Chicago Bulls and he came out with that movie Space Jam, I had Chicago Bulls like all over my room. I had like the comforter with Chicago Bulls. I had red and black sheets and pillowcases, and like the wallpaper. It wasn't the wallpaper, but it was like the little trim that went around, and it said Bulls and had a bull's head every other few feet. I was dedicated because I love, Scottie Pippen and that whole team. But Michael Jordan, if he went out and played against other teams, they wouldn't let him play because you have to have a certain amount of players on the basketball court. So even though he was a superstar, he could not have done it himself because it was illegal. So we have to have teams. Wisdom does not work alone. Wisdom also has a team. So listen to this. In Proverbs 3, it starts off by introducing us to 3 teammates of wisdom. So last week we did Proverbs 2. Hopefully you did your little homework and read on Proverbs 2. If you want to read ahead, if you get done with that and you want to read ahead for this next week will be on Proverbs 4. But this is 3. I challenge you to study it in between Wednesdays so that you can grow in wisdom, because that's the whole point of this series. So Proverbs 3, we have 3 different ones. We have love, faithfulness, and trust. So are you saying that wisdom needs teammates and needs help? Yeah, and let me explain why this is so detrimental to the effectiveness of wisdom. So wisdom without love isn't helpful. It's a lot of instruction without the compassion. The relationship, and even the mild sense of interest in another person or persons that make it really work together. Wisdom without love is like having a set of instructions to put together furniture, but lacking the pieces to do it. We have to have love. Love gives wisdom a playground in which to play, because honestly, if we have no love for God, why in the world would we listen to his wisdom? If we don't have love for other people, why would we make selfless, wise decisions that benefit someone else first above us? So you see how love is very important in wisdom? Because it's a display. The next one is faithfulness. Wisdom is a marathon, not a sprint. Wisdom isn't going to get us to a reality show or make a huge splash in the news. It's not going to make you famous overnight, but wisdom is that quiet plugging along. You keep going, you keep striving, you keep loving, and you keep being faithful, doing the right thing by God's design, and in small ways, we change the world. Imagine if all of us, in our own small little ways, in our own gifts that God has given us, our spiritual gifts, we're being active in the fruits of the Spirit. We're displaying in our lives. We're being fruitful in all that we do because we are dug deep into the Word of God and God's love and plugging along and being faithful. Imagine if all of us together put our little bit that we have in the same basket. We'll be overflowing. Easy. It's a project we have to stick to. However, wisdom can be frustrating, especially if we expect immediate results. So we have to get ready for the long haul. We don't play the short game, we play the long game. We're doing it not for just today, we're doing it for our future. We're doing it through legacy, the people coming behind us, the next generation that are going to be filling the pews, the next generation that's going to be leading the worship, the next generation that's going to be preaching, and their kids, and their kids, and their kids. We don't do this just for today. We have to do it for tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. And that starts by becoming faithful. So we have number 3, we have trust. Without trust, wisdom has no muscle. If we don't have at least a growing trust in God, it's going to be very, very difficult to invest the energy and the risk. It takes risk. And the risk it inquires to follow his teaching. Talking about God. So Proverbs says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make paths straight. That's Proverbs 3, 5 through 6. Those are some powerful words because it's very, 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 very difficult. Coming from a man's perspective, I want to be the provider. I want to be the leader and have all the right answers, and I want people to come to me. I want my wife to be able to lean on me. And it's hard when we won't submit to God's wisdom and we try to lean on our own understanding. We can't lead other people when we have a false sense of what wisdom is and what love is and what faithfulness is and what trust is. These are things that we ourselves have to display for others to then understand what it is. The idea is that God's wisdom and understanding will clear out the brush and run a tractor over the ground and flatten everything. He'll pave a road, paint lines on it, and mark it out. However, it takes trust for us to even get in the vehicle and make it to the road. Brother Josh, speaking of Brother Josh, he told me a story the other day about, I don't remember who it was, but somebody ran over his mailbox. And he just got done telling him, hey, that mailbox is out there. Don't run over that. And he still did it. And he was like, man, I just told you. Did you run over the mailbox? Yeah. He didn't even make it to the road. But it takes trust for us to even get to that road. And sometimes things get in our way. So what do you need to pair wisdom with today? What do you have in issues? Out of these 3 things, what's really assess and take self-inventory of your heart, of your mind, of your spirit. Really break down what God is speaking to you in these times of God, who am I? What do I need to work on? This is so important. We have to, as Christians, to not look and tell other people how to live, but to be able to look at ourselves and say, God, do a work in me. And then through that, he ends up doing a work in other people because of your love, because of your trust, because of your faithfulness. So what do you need to work on? Your love? Showing love to others, especially the ones that are undesirable, that knucklehead at work that you can't stand. Or maybe you're the one coming to church and it's your spouse that you can't stand right now because you're trying to do right and they just won't get their crap together. That's tough. That's hard to do. That's hard to live out. Is it faithfulness? Do we waver back and forth of well, now I believe in God. Well, now I'm going to come to church. Well, now I won't. And we show up when it's convenient for us, or we come to serve when it's convenient for us, or when Jesus says for us to tithe and to be cheerful givers. Is that something that we need to work on? Because that's a part of faithfulness, and that's also a part of trust. I've said this before from the pulpit, but like when I took a full-time youth pastor position, within 6 months, my salary got cut in half, and that was my only source of income. Luckily, Sister Jessie had a job, but that was hard for me to trust God. That was hard for me to be faithful because, okay, my money's cut in half now. God, how am I supposed to still get tithes? I did it, but it was tough. And it's these times of resistance that God is really, truly growing us in ways we didn't even know we need growth. It's tough. Do you need to work on love? Do you need to work on your faithfulness? Do you need to work on your trust? it's easy to say we do these things, but then if we really stop and examine and say, God, show me, examine my heart. God, break me and remold me into what you desire me to be. And a lot of times in this little arena of, it's kind of like it's in the old gladiator days, and the person we're facing a lot of times ourself. We're fighting ourselves, and we're usually the ones that are in the way because we forget how to love. We forget what true love is because we're living in a day tainted of love, and they don't really even know what it is. To them, it's tied to something sexual, and it's not. We forget what faithfulness is. We live in a day, and I am one that is a part of these numbers where divorce is running crazy because we have forgot what faithfulness is all about. We forgot what it is because we don't have a relationship with God, who is love. We don't have a relationship with Jesus Christ, who displays faithfulness. And we don't lean and trust on him, which affects the first two because we're too busy figuring out our own thing for ourselves and not really leaning on him. We desire to be in charge instead of allowing God to direct and the Spirit to direct our path. So I want to challenge you. Read Proverbs chapter 3. And there's some serious things that we need to get right before we go out into the world. We're going to start some serious outreach and ministry and reaching out beyond our walls, reaching out beyond our normal comfort zone. But we've got to get these three things in line. We got to love, and we got to be faithful, and we got to trust. Because there's going to be times where love, faithfulness, and trust is not so evident in the church house. And the team members may be wobbling like this. We need to love. We need to keep being faithful, and we need to keep trusting God that he knows what he's doing because he is in control. No matter what things look like around us, God is in control, and we need to trust him. So I want to challenge you. Read Proverbs 3, and I will see y'all Sunday, and looking forward to a great service with y'all again. I love y'all. Have a good night.